Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to the sickle cell series. So in today's episode, I'll be explaining the genetics of sickle cell anemia, how one gets sickle cell anemia, and how it's being inherited, what causes it, and so forth. So yeah, as I said in my previous video, that sickle cell is nothing but cells that are sickled in shape, and anemia is the reduction of RBC or its component, which is the hemoglobin in the blood. Sickle cell is a hemoglobin disease. This anemia that I said, I want to elaborate so that people would understand. I'll give an example with a car. So just look at RBC like a car, and it has components which are the tires. If the engine is bad, the car cannot move. And also when the tires are flat, the car cannot move. So when the engine is bad, it has anemia in this case. And when the tires are bad, it has anemia. So the normal hemoglobin is the HbA. That means the normal tires here, right? According to my example. So I'm going to the genetic. This hemoglobin A consists of, I'll give example with my virus here, 2 alpha and 2 beta chains. Imagine these are our alpha chain and these are our beta chain. So it consists of 2 alpha and 2 beta chain like this. So this makes the normal hemoglobin. The hemoglobin in patients with sickle cell becomes sickle in shape. It is called the sickle hemoglobin or the HbS. So in the HbS, we have no any problem with the alpha chains. So the alpha chains, they are perfect. So the problem is here in the beta chains. These two beta chains, imagine this pen as a series of bits, small bits arranged to form this pen, which, it's equivalent to the amino acid chain. So what happens really in HbS is, so the sixth amino acid is mutated and it is exchanged from glutamic acid to valine. So instead of having glutamic acid, the HbS has valine amino acid instead. So let's say without the covers, this becomes HbS, the sickle hemoglobin. So when you have, I'm putting the cover back. So when you have 2 alpha and your 2 beta chains, which are normal, you have the genotype AE. So when it becomes sickle, the genotype becomes SS. So let's talk about the AS genotype. The AS genotype, also don't have problem with their alpha chain. Alpha chain is free. The problem is not in the 2 beta chains actually. One of the beta chains is normal, So I'm putting back the cover now. One of the beta chain has the same mutation at the sixth amino acid. The glutamic acid is exchanged with valine. Let's go to the example of tire, The normal HbA, it has like very good tires and the engine as well. So the car moves, Then we have the ones without cover, which is the HBSS. They have very, very bad tires, The tires will change shape and, it's very weak. That is the HBSS in this example. So you can imagine, the car won't function properly and there would be lots of traffic on the road. Now, the road is somewhat like our blood vessels. So there is like so much traffic in there in our blood vessels when you have the HBSS. So let's talk about the AS genotype. Since their mutation is just on one of the beta chain, so they have some of the sickle hemoglobin, some of the normal hemoglobin. If you have like, let's say, two good tires and two bad tires, the car can still function good. So this is just like the AS genotype. They do not have symptoms because somehow they manage their lives, without getting crisis. The good ones, the good hemoglobins, help them through life. They are what we call asymptomatic. So you can imagine we have 30 trillion RBCs in our body, which means 30 trillion bad RBC for the sickle cell patient. Going to my car example, when you have 30 trillion cars in a state, Or let's say countries that have bad ties, you can imagine the kind of traffic it will cause. So this traffic is what happens literally in the blood vessels of those with sickle cell anemia, because their RBC, become sickle in shape, and they do not have that flexibility to, go through the blood vessels, and it gets stuck at a point, and it blocks the blood flow to an area, which would lead to like all the symptoms that comes down with the disease, which I'll be explaining in my subsequent videos. So now I'll be explaining in simple English how the sickle cell can be inherited. The AS and AS got married, and the AS genotype, like I said, they have defect in one of their beta chain, right? This is the dad's composition of hemoglobin, and then the mom has the same thing. So what happens when this perfect beta chain, this good normal beta chain, combines with another good beta chain from your mother? That means the child would have AA genotype. And then when this good, the same good, combines with a beta chain with that mutation from your mother. So now they will have AS child. When this affected beta chain from your dad combines with another beta chain from your mother that is affected, that has the mutation, then the child come as SS. This is how it's been inherited in basic English. I don't want to bombard you with the medical jargon. When AS get married, the chances of you having SS is 25%. The chances of you having AS is 50%, and the chances of you getting AA is 25%. So on a lighter note, I just want to throw some light on this RBC. As I said, there we have 30 trillion RBCs in the blood in our body, which is 70% of our total body content. So now you can imagine, someone having a disease that affects almost 70% of his, body. This is a pretty serious disease that I think more awareness should be raised. This RBC start appearing 6 weeks after pregnancy, gestation. So there is what we call HbF, which is the fetal hemoglobin, which predominates the body at around 10 to 11 weeks of pregnancy. And then the normal hemoglobin, which is the hemoglobin A, predominates when the pregnancy reaches like 38 weeks. So normally babies with sickle cell anemia, they become asymptomatic because of that fetal hemoglobin until like around the age of 3 months to 9 months, depending on when the fetal hemoglobin decline, because it varies from individual to individual. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. In my next video, I'll be explaining the physiology of sickle cell anemia. And until then, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my videos and share it with loved ones. Thank you.